Okay, so this is an account of the prior times. Prior times are defined as the times before mankind came to be and before the gods descended to earth. Before there was even a concept of God, or before earthlings were even called. Before humanity was created, or before there were any gods to descend. Now, some of our ancestors will say that they've descended from the sky. And is it any crazier to think that our ancestors came from the sky than it is to say that our ancestors came from the earth? I want to look into this because there's many cultures like the Dogons, or the stories in Greek mythology, or in the Mahabharata, which narrates the tales of the solar and lunar dynasties, those who come from above, which are called the Devas, the formation of the Asuras, and how humankind came to be. Or the stories in Greek mythology, where those who come from the sky, from Mount Olympus, they mingle with humanity, and demigods are formed. Perseus, Achilles, Hercules. And the reason why we have a difficulty relating to this in the Western culture is we don't have an adequate origin story to communicate this. Many of the books in the Bible that gave reference to a pre-Diluvian culture, they've been removed. The book of Joshua, the book of Enoch, the book of Jubilees, the books of 1st and 2nd Adam, these apocrypha that are not recognized by the canonized church. They give depictions of races that exist before humanity, that in the Hebrew Bible they would call the Nephilim, which gave rise to the men of renown, the heroes of old. So before there was earth, or a place to call sky, before lands were formed, before there were rivers to swim in where fish could reign, there is a home in the far away, and the name of this home is Nibru. This is where we get in current history, the word Hebrew, which means those who come from a distant land. And in Buddhist depictions of nirvana, the same root word, nir, as a Nibru, meaning cessation, or the end of suffering. Nibru is a home and a far away. Before earthlings came to be, before any gods descended. This is how culture became established. And I'll outline. That Nibru became a part of the solar system, became part of the sun's family. From a distant star it came, and into the orbit of the sun's family, it arrived. A long elliptical orbit began to form. The closer it became to the sun, the warmer it got. The farther out, the cooler it became. And a seed of everlasting life it carried, and the seed began to flourish, and life began to spring. And from region to region, life began to spread and evolve. A seed sprouted, a seed of everlasting life, and the numbers to many regions began to grow, covering all areas. And as numbers flourish, encroachments start to occur. Brother against brother start to fight. At first, hands are thrown, and then sticks, and then weapons of destruction. Killing and devastation occurs throughout the land. And two great nations are formed. The nation of the north and the nation of the south. Brother against brother, these weapons are amassed. Weapons of terror. And in order for peacemaking and to come to a truce, they decide by lots, let us unite the north and the south, one leader to reign supreme over all, kingship established, and unity to prevail. If by lots a man from the north is chosen, let him for a spouse, a wife of the south be united, and one flesh become. Or if by lots a male from the south is chosen, let him have a female from the north, and one flesh to become king and reign supreme over all. By lots, the north and south are united. And this is the origin of marriage. The bringing together of the north and the south, male and female, as one flesh to become, for peace to prevail, and for brother against brother to end fighting. A leader is chosen, and the queen is to reign equal alongside the king. Husband and wife, they are to become one flesh. And the origin of the culture, that the firstborn is to be the successor in an everlasting dynasty. Unity to forever establish an unbroken line of kingship. So this is where the culture of the firstborn to take that heirship, to be the legal heir, and carry on the father's throne is established. It was not established from the ground up of earthlings just evolving, but an eternal inheritance, a culture. So this archetype here, I want to grasp, because to understand the total story, this is very important. The purpose of marriage, the uniting of the north and south, of wars being encroached against brother, and the solution to ending the warfare was a marriage by uniting the North and the South. A king is chosen. A king of the North is chosen, and he unites with the queen of the South, and their successor is to be their firstborn son. This is why the role of the firstborn throughout history is important, because we can trace the origin of this culture back. This is the origin before humanity, before anybody descended to Earth. This archetypal pattern here, I want you to grasp. It's very important. This is how succession works.